Hey, I'm Sil, they, them, your friendly neighborhood leftist, vegan, autistic, antinatalist nerd, and we're gonna start playing Hades today. I deliberately started the video without starting the game yet because once you boot up the game, I think there's a very striking, visual and sound that I wouldn't want you to miss. Or rather, I wouldn't want to talk over it, is what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to boot up the game now, and I'll start talking after that. All right, I waited for that drop, basically. I think that's pretty, pretty impressive in terms of sound, and so I didn't want to talk over it. But anyway, in case you're not familiar, Hades is a roguelike game, which means every time you start a run of the game, everything is going to be different. Room layouts, enemies, upgrades that you find, they're all going to be slightly different than previous runs. And usually it's randomized. So no two runs, that people play are ever going to be exactly the same. On top of that, whether you lose or whether you win a run, you usually just go back to the beginning afterwards. And depending on what you've managed to achieve in the previous run, you might unlock some stuff for the meta progression in your save file. Speaking of save files, you can see that I've played this game before. In fact, I've completed it. I have 100% achievements on Steam, but I played on normal mode. And so I thought it would be a fun idea to play hell mode in this game. In fact, let me just, to make sure that, we don't miss the beginning part of the story, I'm going to delete this and create a new one. And also I should say that the reason I came up with the idea to play this on the channel in the first place is that some people might want to experience this game in terms of story and music and voice acting, which is phenomenal in this game, by the way, without necessarily playing it themselves, right? Maybe they don't have the time, maybe they feel like they don't have the skill for it or the interest to play themselves, but it would still be cool for them to be able to experience the game, especially in the company of someone who shares important values like theirs, veganism, antinatalism, etc. So here we are. I'm gonna wait for the music to finish, which is very soon, and then I'm gonna start the playthrough. There we go. I think the music in this game really sets the tone and gives you an idea of what kind of narrative you're about to get into. So yeah, let's start.
Few tales are told of Hades, whose very name inspires fear and penitence, reminding us of the inevitable fate which we all share. I, however, mean to tell you such a tale. Listen carefully.
Goodbye, Father.
Alright, so this game, despite on top of being a roguelike, is kind of like
this place.
Isometric in nature. By the way, I'm going to try to speak as little as possible, while characters are speaking. It's isometric, which means it's, it's on a 2D plane. It's like two-dimensional, but in terms of visuals, it looks like, 2.5 directions. Not directions, dimensions, sorry. Yeah, so in terms of action, you can move around, you can dash to dodge attacks, you can attack yourself, and there are a few other unique stuff that you can do, but we'll get to that in a bit. For now, I think we should just move on. And in general, I do want to mention that in this playthrough, I'm going to be a bit quieter than usual, as opposed to, playthroughs like Stardew Valley, where there's not a lot going on and there's a lot to talk about. Here, I just want to kind of give the spotlight to the game and just let it shine, both in terms of music, like I said, voice acting, etc. So yeah, there are enemies, you can dodge their attacks, and then attack them yourself in order to defeat them. Oh, okay. And then you get money, you can use the money to buy upgrades later down the road. Basically, if you get down to 0 HP, which you can see we have 50 at the moment, you lose, and you have to start a new run. But that's not going to happen anytime soon, unless my muscle memory is really bad. So right off the bat, we start the game with a sword, like a basic sword, but as we progress, we're going to unlock cooler and cooler weapons. Not that the sword is not cool,
There
but...
she is.
Okay, so as I mentioned, as you progress through the game, or a run, you get random upgrades. Let's see what this one is.
It's got to be her. Then here goes nothing. In the name of Hades, Olympus, I accept this message.
Hail, noble cousin. Now, let's get you from that miserable place. I'll see that all of us upon Olympus do our part, beginning here with me.
Okay, so we get to choose. Athena is bestowing upon us a blessing, and depending on what we choose, you know, our abilities improve. So the first option is Divine Strike. Your attack is stronger and can deflect. You might have seen previously that some of the enemies, shoot, and so if you time your swing right, to deflect them with this upgrade, you actually send it back on them, and it deals extra damage to them, which is really nice. Phalanx Shot. Your cast damages foes in a small area and can deflect. Cast is an ability that I haven't mentioned yet, and we'll see it soon, but I don't think I'm going to take this one. And finally, Divine Dash. Your dash deals damage and can deflect, which is actually really useful. And lots of people say that this is one of the best boons in the game that you can get. But for now, I think let's just go simple. Let's take an upgrade to our attack and deal more damage.
I know you can't hear me all the way where you are, goddess, but thank you.
Right. So as anytime you're about to enter a new room, you can kind of see in advance what the reward is that you're going to get. So we're going to get this key, which you'll see later down the road what it does.
Look who. Always a pleasure. Each exit has its own reward.
This is another interesting part of, a lot of roguelike games where you kind of, you choose your own adventure, basically. The reason they show you the rewards is that you can kind of like choose your own path and build your run in terms of upgrades and items as you see fit. So, for example, if we go left, we're going to get money. If we go right, we're going to get a boon from a god called Dionysus, which I think I'm going to want to do. So let's do that. Oop, took a hit there. That's okay. We'll heal up sometime soon. So this is a good opportunity to demonstrate like the deflection. See how, the enemy like got their shot there and boom, I can return it to them and it deals extra damage. So that's nice. Right now, doesn't seem too useful because I can just dodge very easily and, get close to them with the sword. But as we go through the game, there will be plenty of opportunities for that to shine. In fact, there will be plenty of cases where it's going to be very difficult to dodge every single shot at once. And that's when it's going to be very useful. Let's see what we get here.
That was revelry? People having a good time? Well, sure then. In the name of Hades, Olympus, I'll accept this message.
Hey there, Zag man, how's it going? Look, you have got to get here with the rest of us already. We've been saving you a spot. Let me see what I can do. Make life a little sweeter for you in the meantime.
Let's see. Chirpy Shot. Your cast lobs a large explosive that burns into festive fog. This might be a good opportunity to show the cast, so I'll consider it. Drunken Dash. Your dash causes hangover several times near where you started. So when you hover over tooltips, right? When you hover over options and you hear, terms that might not be familiar to you, you can see on the right that there are little tooltips that tell you. So in this case, hangover is a status, and for 4 seconds, the victim keeps taking damage. Effects can stack up to 5 times. So essentially poison from other games, right? And then the third option is Premium Vintage. Gain this icon, let's see what it says, max life, and an increase to your life total. So right now we have 50 max HP, that'll raise it by 20, which is going to be very nice. When you you gain that whenever you pick up this item, which it doesn't tell us what it is, and receive 1 of it now. So essentially you get that and the HP for free. I think I'm going to go with that because I'm not interested in the dash, and I also don't want to change the regular cast right off the bat because for new players who haven't seen the regular cast yet, it might be confusing. So let's go with that.
Leave it to the god of wine to liven things up around here.
Got
Who should I
Nectar.
give this to?
And yeah, we'll get into Nectar in a little bit, but let's see what we get from the following. You can also dash over gaps like that, which is really nice. And oh, as you can see, this room is also full of traps, so gotta be careful with where we go. Now, if some of you, in case some of you are not familiar with this, roguelike genre, at least the action variety of the roguelike genre, something that is very common in it is that enemies have very set specific patterns of movement, of attack, and all that. And you're not expected to be really good at the game when you just start playing because obviously you're not going to know those patterns, right away. But the idea is that the game encourages you to get better at it by learning those moves, right? By learning how to dodge them effectively, how to attack them effectively, and all that. So as you can see, I already have a lot of experience with dealing with those enemies, but over time, I think even you in the audience will learn to recognize some of those enemies and what they do. But moving forward, at least for the first few episodes, when I encounter new enemies, unless there's something else I want to talk about at that moment, I'm going to try to give a brief description and show how I usually like to deal with them. And of course, that's going to change based on the movesets that I have in that in the run at that time. So let's see, we gain plus 10 of this thing.
Felt something.
And it doesn't really tell us what it is. Of course, I know what it is, some of you might know what it is, but new players not. Let's move on.
Numbskulls.
Okay, so you can see that a lot of the enemies here have, yellow bars on top of their health. That means that they have armor, which means they're going to take more hits to kill.
You're just in time.
And also, this might be a good opportunity to say that each weapon usually has 2 types of attack. So this sword has the regular swing, like this, and then the special attack, which is this, kind of like an area attack. And when we look at the boons here, this Divine Strike that we got earlier, it only applies to the regular attack, which, as you can see in the tooltip, it says hold left, press or hold the left mouse button. Whereas the special is a different one, which I've bound to my mouse, which has 12 mouse buttons, but it's a different button. That's the important part. And we get maximum HP from this room, which is nice. Okay, we're going to get another boon from Athena, but this icon over here, the skull, indicates that the upcoming room is going to be a difficult fight, kind of like a mini-boss. But in reward, the boon that we get from Athena is going to be probably of higher quality. So I'm pretty excited about that. Wanted to wait for the music to finish there because I think it's a really cool outro. So I can accept the gift, but also, as you can see, we can gift the nectar that we got earlier. Let's see what that does.
I'm indebted to you, Goddess, for all that you and your side of the family have done for me.
Well, it simply isn't in my nature to allow such offerings to go unanswered, noble cousin. In turn, I wish for you to have this with my compliments.
Lady Athena, thank you.
New keepsake. I'll append it. We'll see what that does later. But for now, let's actually accept
In
the
the
boon,
name of Hades.
as in the upgrade in the run. So as you can see, the colors here, or also the words, that indicate the rarity of those boons, are higher because we got this boon from kind of like a mini boss fight. Let's see what they do. So we're already familiar with Phalanx Shot. We're already familiar with Divine Dash. The only differences in rarity in those cases is the numbers. So a rare Phalanx Shot is going to deal more damage as opposed to a regular one. Divine Dash is going to deal more damage, although it really doesn't matter too much between them. Maybe it does, I don't know. And Blinding Flash, your abilities that can deflect, which keep in mind we have that on our attack, can also make foes exposed. What does exposed mean? For 5 seconds, victims take more damage when struck from behind. So kind of like backstab damage. And it says that the bonus backstab damage is plus 63%. So that's actually pretty cool. I could start, attacking an enemy and then try to maneuver, to their back and try to attack them from there. So just because that sounds really cool to me, and also because I don't want to waste the higher quality boon on Divine Dash where it barely makes a difference, I'm going to go with Blinding Flash, and maybe we can find Divine Dash later.
Divine protection.
Yeah. Also, it tells us press B for boon info, so we can do that.
Can't heal myself, but I can fight.
Okay. And examine our boons for this run. Anyway, let's keep moving. So I'm going to try to be a bit careful here because, as you can see, these enemies shoot a lot of shots at once, and I don't want to get hit by that. Especially when I can use my attack to deflect those shots and stay in relative safety. As you can see, once they have that, effect on them, and I attack them from behind, it actually tells you with, tiny text that there is backstab damage, which is increased. Still don't know what that is, but
For safekeeping.
you'll find out soon. As you can see, in rooms like this where there's a lot going on in terms of, projectiles, having an ability to deflect them is very useful.
This one was bound to show up, I guess. In the name of Hades, Olympus, I accept this message.
You've got quite the fighting spirit in you there, I have to say. Most intriguing, and yet no surprise for someone born in hell itself. You come on out of there and tell me all about it. I'm a fellow student of death, you see.
Okay. Ares, the god of war, was it? Probably. Let's see. Blade Dash. Your dash creates a blade rift where you started, and the blade rift says, slashing metal vortex rapidly deals damage in the area, 10 damage per hit, which is, they hit pretty often. It's kind of like updating. Battle Rage. After slaying a foe, your next attack or special deals more damage. That sounds pretty good, and also it's rare as opposed to the others. So 150% extra damage for the next attack after killing someone. And Curse of Vengeance. After you take damage, inflict doom on foes around you. What is doom? After a brief moment, victims take a burst of damage. So it's kind of like a delayed second hit. But for now, I think Battle Rage sounds pretty good. It's going to allow us to, clear rooms with a lot of small enemies a lot more quickly.
Witches.
So that's what happens when you don't time your swings very well. Let's see if we can survive at least past this floor here and not die right away. There you go. Also, if you manage to, attack an enemy up against the wall, they take extra damage, right? Because it's kind of like bashing them against it. As well as if you manage to cause, some pillars to collapse next to them, they also take extra damage from that. I think I'm gonna die here pretty soon. But let's see how far I can make it before that. There you go. Missed timing with the slashes. That's what I get.
Damn it. I'm home. Yes, carry on, everyone. Don't mind me. How goes it, Shades?
So in case there's text like this, oh, well, I guess I missed it. But next time when there's text like this with no narration, I'll try to read it aloud for you. So there are some people to talk here. Let's see what they have to say.
Welcome to the House of Hades, where... Wait, I know you. Guess that means you died out there, huh? Well, don't be sad, though. Pretty much everybody dies sometime.
Some of us more than others.
Back already? Stupid boy. I told you nobody gets out of here, whether alive or dead. So how was your wanton ransacking of my domain?
Greetings, Father. My ransacking was a delight, thank you for asking. So I'll just be on my way again.
Be on your way indeed. What do I care? You shall never reach the surface. Go. See for yourself.
Guess we'll try. Let's see what other stuff we have around here. As you can see, we have a very good dog, a very good boy. Let's see what happens when we talk to them.
Infernal watchdog Cerberus regards the underworld prince with mixed emotions, from purest joy to deepest melancholy.
You watch over things for me, won't you, boy? You know I'd take you if I could.
And we can pet them.
There's a good boy.
The dog has enough troubles of his own.
Alright, that's pretty cute. See what else is around here.
You've returned. Good to see you, lad, despite the circumstances. Remember your training out there. The pain of death is but another obstacle.
And fear is for the weak. Take care, Achilles.
What do we have here?
The House of Hades. That dark and lavishly appointed lair of the underworld's king is home not just to him, but to his willful progeny.
You know I can hear you, old man.
Sorry, that was my phone. I'll make sure to mute it. I usually do remember to mute it before starting a video like this, so you'll have to forgive me. See who else we can talk to.
You have come home. Do not despair, child. Such setbacks are inevitable and may be overcome with effort and with time. You made contact with the goddess Athena. She shall be true to her word.
I believe it, Nyx. I'm grateful that you put us into contact. I know you took a considerable risk in reaching out.
The risk is not to me. I expected the Olympians would involve themselves in this eventually. Reveal to them no more than they already know. Are we understood?
Yes, we are.
Then go.
Alright, let's go.
Hey, room. I'm back.
Use the mirror to grow stronger. We'll do that in a bit. I just want to see what it says here.
The bedchambers of Prince Zagreus lie in a perpetual state of utter disarray, despite his lord and master of the house repeatedly insisting that he pick everything up.
Oh, come on. It's not that bad, is it?
I like how there's the, back and forth banter as if, the character can hear the narrator. I think that's pretty fun.
Night
See what
and
we have here.
darkness guide me.
Okay, Mirror of the Night. Within the Infinite Dark, everything. So this is the system in the game that allows you to get to, I guess, improve and get upgrades between runs. So to make every run stronger right off the bat. I'm sure you've seen that, in the run that we just attempted, even though I'd like to think that I'm kind of good at the game, we didn't even reach the first boss, or rather we haven't cleared even the first floor of the game. And that's because either because I'm bad, or in reality, or it's because I'm so used to playing, with all the different upgrades that you can get, like the permanent upgrades that you can get in the game, that getting sent back and playing it for the first time without them is kind of like a shock, right? I like to say it's a little bit of a mix of both. But let's see what we can get. So earlier in the run, we got this currency here, and it's called Darkness. And this is what you use in order to upgrade these. So especially in the beginning of the game, you're going to really want to focus on getting as much darkness as possible to upgrade the run, as well as keys, because as you can see, as we get more keys, we'll be able to unlock more upgrades like that. But let's see what we can get. We have 20 darkness now. Some of the upgrades here are relatively cheap. Let's see them. Shadow Presence. Deal bonus damage and deal bonus attack and special damage when striking foes from behind, plus 10% per rank. Sounds good. Catonic, I never know how to pronounce this word. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Feel free to correct me in the comments. Catonic Vitality. Restore a small amount of hearts when you exit a chamber, plus 1 per rank. Sounds good for sustain. Death Defiance. Restore 50% of HP instead of dying when your life total is depleted, 1 time per rank. And so I think when it says rank, it means like per times that you've upgraded this skill. And Greater Reflex. Perform plus 1 additional dash in quick succession. I think I'm going to want to get this one early just because I'm so used to it. And also, it's just a one-time upgrade. So it's going to be very cheap, and the return on, like the mechanical return from it is going to be massive. So I'm not going to spend anything now. We'll do another run, see if we can get enough darkness for Greater Reflex, and then buy it. See what we have next.
Okay.
Use keys to unlock a weapon. So for example, the key that we got earlier, we can use it to unlock a bow over here. And I think since we just played with a sword, it would be pretty fun to try out the bow.
There we go.
So let's do that.
The Heart Seeker. Let's deal some death.
Psst, over here.
What the?
Nice place you got here, boyo. Name's Skelly, how's it going? But enough with the small talk already. I'm here to do a job. So let me have it. Give me everything you got.
I don't remember having you on payroll, mate. Who's your supervisor?
Oh, I'm not about to wrap my sources, pal. Just try and beat it out of me.
If you insist.
So this is kind of like your eternal punching bag, where if you want to test a new weapon that you've unlocked or try something out, you can just see how it works. So the way the bow works is, you know, when you hold down the attack weapon, the attack button, it charges a shot. Of course, the more you hold it down, the further it goes and the more damage it deals. However, you might notice that while I hold it, there's a quick flash. And either I miss it or, you know, I hit it, right? If I hit it, let's see what the damage difference is. If I just hold it and miss the flash, a shot deals 60 damage. But if I get it just right, if I time the shot just right, I think it'll be more damage. So you can see it's 70. So the game encourages you to be more active with your shots and kind of like hit the mark. And there's also this glowy area here, so let's see what that does.
Got something new to try.
Keepsakes. Here, even mortal companionship can be eternal. So if you remember, we gave Athena a gift, we gave her nectar, and in return we got her a keepsake, which is the owl pendant. And if I equip it, which let's do that, then it says, the next boon you find will be from Athena. Her blessings have plus 10% chance to be rare or better. So once you unlock more keepsakes, you can swap between them eventually, and during a run, that is. And there's strategic value in that, but we don't have to think about that for now because we only have one keepsake. Might as well just equip it. So yeah, I think we're pretty much ready to start the next run.
Looks like Father's not going to make this one easy on me.
Right. So, in the base game, when you don't play on hard mode, this doesn't appear right off the bat, but because we're in hell mode, I might as well explain this real quick. You can customize your run with extra difficulty settings. First of all, to make it more difficult, if you enjoy that, but also later down the road to get more rewards. So let's see what it says. The Pact. Notice, welcome to hell. Your insolence has compelled Lord Hades to serve you a pact of punishment. Here is how it works. The pact makes escaping more difficult via various nasty conditions. Each condition you accept adds more heat to your heat gauge. While your heat gauge is full, you can earn valuable bounties. And in hell mode, certain conditions are not optional. You might have noticed while we played earlier that this on the top left there was a skull that says 5. That's because on Hell mode you start immediately right off the bat with 5 heat points, and we'll see what those are in a moment. You earn 1 bounty the first time you vanquish the boss of each underworld region while your heat gauge is full. Once you successfully escape, you can earn more bounties, and once you turn up the heat. Hint, you can earn bounties for each weapon. How much heat you need is per weapon as well. If things get too hot, try switching weapons. So, the 5 heat that we can't turn off, I believe, are personal liability, which makes it easier to defend against constant streams of damage. And this one is unique to the hard mode that I turned on. The second part is calisthenics program. I hope I said that right, which means all foes have higher life totals, plus 15% per rank, so 15 now. Jury summons. Foes in standard encounters appear in greater numbers, plus 20% per rank. Lasting consequences, which is any hard restore effects. Restore less of your life total than usual, which is minus 25% per rank. And finally, hard labor. All foes deal bonus damage, plus 20 per rank. Because we haven't beaten even a single run, with any of the weapons, there's no point in making things more difficult for ourselves with active punishment. So let's go with the minimum, which is 5. Yeah, let's go.
Ready. Thunder. Is this really him? Okay. In the name of Hades, Olympus, I accept this message.
Greetings there, young man. Look, your father's always been rather difficult, and he's not so much as called in quite some time. You'll have a better home where you belong, here on Olympus. And to help you on your journey, have my blessing.
Alright, thank you very much. Choose one. Thunder Flourish. Your special causes a lightning bolt to strike nearby foes. So I haven't shown you yet what the special attack for this bow is. I could have done that on Skelly over there, but forgot. Electric Shot. Your cast is a burst of chain lightning that bounces between foes. And Thunder Dash. Your dash causes a lightning bolt to strike nearby foes. I think... Let's show off the Flourish. I think it'll be pretty fun.
Lord Uncle Zeus lending his support. Never thought I'd see the day. Or night. Whenever.
Alright. So the regular shot of the bow is just, one arrow, right? Which can deal up to 70 damage. Whereas the special, or in this case the Flourish, it shoots a fan of smaller arrows that deal, smaller damage. However, the really fun upside of this boon that we just got is that instead of each of those arrows dealing a little bit of damage, on top of that damage, each one also deals 30 extra bolt damage. And so this is why with the bow, the Thunder Flourish from Zeus is really, really useful. Let's see what it says here.
Composed of such innumerable, ever-shifting, interlocking chambers, the underworld of Lord Hades all but guarantees the dead shall there remain until the end of time.
Good thing I'm not dead.
We're gonna get another key, which is really nice. So as you can see, even if you lose the run, you still get to keep items that you got during it. Well, some of them, of course. And of course, by the way, the arrows of the bow pierce. So if you can line up a few enemies, at once, it's gonna be very nice. So yeah, you can see small enemies like that, like the skulls. I can just fan, and it'll just kill them in one shot.
Mechathonic key. More louts.
Like that. Very useful. So as you can see, a good opportunity to talk about this enemy here. All they do is basically like telegraph that they're about to charge at you, and then they charge at you, right? So like you can even play along and just practice, you know, dodging against enemies like this, and get better at it that way. But for now, let's move forward.
Coin from the dead.
More money. As you can see, I'm not really that good at, you know, releasing the arrow right when it lights up. Sometimes. All right, more darkness for upgrades. You know, maybe with the because those targets are so big, maybe I should just get up in their face and, you know, use the flourish. That will probably be a lot faster. Just realized. Yeah, as you can see. Let's deal with the ranged ones first. Also, you might have just noticed that, you know, if an enemy is just about to perform an attack and you shoot them or hit them beforehand, that kind of causes their attack to be delayed a little bit. So you can use that,
Which way?
You know, strategically. Let's go with more keys. I feel like unlocking as many weapons and upgrades as possible, as early as possible, is going to be very, very good. Very good. I don't know why I stuttered over there. Sorry. So yeah, big targets like that, I can get up in their face and just fan, you know, use the fan attack. Of course, there's danger in that, right? If you don't dodge the attacks very successfully, but otherwise, if you know what you're doing, you can be very strong. I think, by the way, even if you don't have the upgrade that causes your attacks to deflect, if you shoot down a bullet like that, it still destroys it. It just doesn't send it back. So you can still play defensively even if you don't have the deflect boon.
This can unlock something back home.
Okay, interesting option here. We can get one, we can get a regular boon from Athena, or we could go the harder route and fight a mini-boss, or some difficult enemies, and get an upgraded boon from Zeus. And I think I'm going to do that because the risk, I think, is worth the better reward.
Let's go, lads.
Okay, electric shot could be nice. You know, it's another way to deal with a lot of small enemies at once because it kind of like bounces between them. But let's see what the other options are. Static discharge. Your lightning effects also make foes jolted. What is jolted? The victim's next attack self-inflicts lightning damage that harms nearby foes. And high voltage, your lightning bolt effects deal damage in a large... Sorry, hiccup. Sorry, a burp, rather, more accurately. High voltage, your lightning bolt effects deal damage in a larger area. So I think with a flourish, this could actually... Both of these would be really nice with a flourish. Like imagine you get into a room, you send out one fan of arrows, and every single enemy who's hit gets inflicted with jolted, so the next time that they attack, they get even more damage. I think this is actually an interesting choice here. Pomegranate. Let's see what that does.
Heads up.
Yeah, so as you can see, very useful for rooms like this, where there's lots of smaller enemies.
palm of power. Power of Olympus.
So, whenever you pick up a pomegranate like this, well, let's see what it says. Palm of power. There is abiding power in each sweet and acrid, is that how you say that word? Acrid morsel of this blood red fruit. So what pomegranates do, they allow us to upgrade existing boons. So since we don't have a lot of boons at the moment, we only have 2 options. And if you have more than 3 boons during a run, then the 3 boons that it allows you to choose between are randomized. Which is a good reason, I think, to try to keep a relatively concise list of boons so you can upgrade the ones that you actually want. Depending on the run, of course. Sometimes there are synergies that might benefit from having a lot more boons at once. Well, let's see what the options are. Thunder Flourish from level 1 to 2. Basically, all it does is upgrade the damage of the bolts. Here, it's like by almost, or slightly more than a third, which is pretty nice. And here, the static discharge is kind of like by half or something like that. Maybe a little bit less. I don't know. Yeah, less than half. I think because some enemies don't attack very often, I think I'd just rather get an upgrade to the damage itself than the self-inflicted damage. So let's do that.
They must have lots of these upon Olympus.
So either small amount of darkness from a regular room or a challenge room, that is to say like stronger enemies, and get these gems, which some of you might not know what they do at the moment. So to make it interesting, let's go with that. Oh, didn't dodge in time. So yeah, as you can see, dealing with lots of small enemies like that is very nice when you have a boon like the Thunder Flourish. Oh, missed that.
Gemstones.
Do we want more HP or do we want a boon from Athena? It's very tempting to go Athena because I might get the Divine Dash that deflects when you do this, but I think I'll go safe here. I think I'll get some more HP. Make the run last a little bit longer, if possible. It's funny using the bow in like a melee weapon. By the way, of course, when an enemy has like armor like that, it's a bad thing, right? Because it means they take far more hits. But you may have noticed that when you break an enemy's layer of armor, it kind of makes them flinch for a moment. So let's see. I'll show you this here. You see how, you know, when they tried to attack, the jolted condition popped off. And that broke their armor, which canceled their attack, which I think is a pretty cool effect. Darkness or keys? I don't think you get more keys from dealing with a mini-boss, but just to sate my curiosity, let's see if you do. We might get 2 keys out of that. So, not necessarily a mini-boss, but rather like a harder room.
That was for last time.
I like how the enemy there kind of like killed themselves on the trap. So thankfully, a single arrow can shoot through all of those, you know, enemy projectiles at once. So you can use, you know, your attacks pretty defensively in that sense. There we go. Yeah, we gained 2 keys. That's good to know. You know, I didn't remember that.
Back at home.
So I'm really glad. Oh, shouldn't have spoken over him. My bad. But as you can see, fighting stronger enemies is sometimes, you know, worth it. Oh.
Absorbed my blood.
I think he was referring to the armor there. Interesting that he hasn't up until that point. So, of course, in a game like this, where lots of enemies, you know, kind of go at you at once, divide and conquer is a really useful strategy. Now, here's an interesting choice. Upgrading Thunder Flourish again, sure, it'll add like 8 damage over 42, but I think it's better to upgrade Static Discharge here. Maybe it isn't, who knows. Alright, let's see.
Charon's shop.
So not a combat room. It's kind of like a shop where you can spend some money. Let's see what he has to say. Not much.
Why, good to see you, Charon, mate. Just minding my own business, taking in the sights, and hey, what's that you got? Some sort of wares for sale? And I'll just have a look around.
Alright. Let's see what this says.
Beyond the present chamber lies the outermost perimeter of Tartarus, promising terrifying dangers far beyond the Underworld Prince's reckoning.
And I can reckon quite a bit.
So, just to make things easier next run, let's buy another key.
Always a pleasure, Charon.
And let's see if we can get something nice. I think we'll just buy all of this. Why not spend the money that we've got? You know, we might not even win this boss fight, for all I know. So let's just spend what we've got.
You found me holding up in Charon's nasty stash there, did you, man? Well, good, good. Yeah.
Let's see what we get. Actually, I promise you, you might recognize all 3 of these options. I promise you there's like way more variety. We just happen to, you know, like, I guess not anti-luck out, right? To see the same 3 again. You know what, let's make it interesting. Let's take Trippy Shot this time. So instead of like a regular, you know, red shot that just goes to the enemy and is relatively useless at the moment, instead we can throw this and like aim it where we want, right? And where it lands, poof, like creates, you know, a cloud of damage. And let's buy the HP as well.
Here's the fee.
And the special thing about casting is that, you know, once you use it, you can't use it again, at least not now, until the effect is over, and you could go pick it up. So you have to be careful with it. So this indicates that we're coming up to a boss, and usually you'll always get a shop right before a boss.
Well, this is awkward.
Halt, Zagreus. Not one step further.
She is my favorite character in the game. I think she's super cool.
Come on, Meg. Haven't we had more than enough of each other by now? Besides, don't you have someplace else to be?
Your father sent me. All in all, I'd rather be on your bad side than his. Now you can turn back, like a good little man, or I can send you home the painful way. What'll it be?
Her voice acting is just so freaking good. I love her.
I'll have to go with the painful way.
A man after my own heart. Beg me for mercy, fool.
Not a scratch. No problem. The ancient blood. Achilles might know what to do with this. They got me. No way to patch up. Got to keep going.
Okay, so we're going up a floor, and there's a few things to do in between floors.
How did you...
Don't mind me, Father.
Alright, so between each floor, you get a pretty significant heal here. So that didn't end up being significant. I guess I'm used to, you know, metagame upgrades that I got in the previous account, or the previous save. Disregard. Let's see what this says.
None other than those in the trusted inner circle of Lord Hades are authorized to enter the intricate chambers connecting the vast regions of the underworld. But the prince decides to barge in anyway.
I barge where I please.
Alright, so on top of healing a little bit, we get two things to interact with between floors. One is you can,
my boons.
as he says, we can get rid of boons that we don't want and salvage them for a little bit of money to use in other ways. I don't think I want to get rid of anything here. And the other side is a little shop that you can spend money on. So let's see what the options are. And first, let's also read this. The Well of Charon. The 5 rivers flowing through the underworld imbue the dead's detritus with great power. Life Essence, instant, restore up to 23 HP, cost 31, and because of the challenge mode that we have, this is actually healing less than it would have otherwise. Yarn of Radiance, we don't have enough money for it, but I'll just read it anyway, just so we can remember for future reference. Passive, the next boon you find has upgraded rarity. And Braid of Atlas for 20. Passive, your cast deals plus 50% damage, but it's only for the next 6 encounters, so it's not a permanent upgrade. And upon demise, all obols or money return to Charon, all sales are final. So yeah, let's buy the HP here just so we can survive a little bit more.
I'll just go on out. Check. Now we're getting somewhere.
So we're out of Tartarus, and now we're in Asphodel. See what this says.
The once verdant plains of Asphodel are now engulfed in scintillating flame, having been flooded by the river Phlegethon, whose hideously superheated contents could bring death swiftly even to those resistant to most heat.
I'm only flame resistant, not flame proof.
Speaking of which, if you step on lava anywhere, anytime in this level or anytime on this floor, you take damage. So gotta be careful about that. It's kind of like a persistent trap.
Spreaders.
I think I'm just gonna fan here, make things easier for myself.
Keep them coming.
Oh, that was not enough. More darkness is always nice. And now, do I want to pick darkness or keys? I think we'll go with darkness this time because I want to make sure I get 50 before I lose this run, in order to unlock the second dash. And it seems like I'm about to lose pretty soon. So, also I forgot not only to read the tooltip for the. Not only read the tooltip for... Oh, wait. This doesn't pause the game, so I shouldn't do that right now. I'll do that after I beat this room. So these enemies kind of like just rush at you and then they bomb, their feet. And of course, also when they die, they drop another bomb. Ooh, this is an enemy that I actually really hate, the blue one. Sometimes they're hard to deal with, especially if you have melee weapons. Thankfully this time, not the case. because they just keep attacking relentlessly like that. Can take a lot of damage if you don't make sure to dodge out of the way. By the way, worth mentioning, in the settings, I personally have disabled, where is it? Where is it actually? Oh, maybe it's in controls. Yeah, I disabled aim assist. Because this game, I think it's designed to be played with a controller, like a game controller, and so of course, because it's a lot harder to aim with a joystick, they added this option. And I think even when the game detected that I'm using mouse and keyboard at first, it still kept aim assist. But I personally found it a bit annoying, not only because I want to sometimes aim in different directions than the aim assist thinks would be good, but also because I like the added challenge. But anyway,
Mine now.
got enough darkness for the upgrade, so that's good. Even if I lose this run, I'm gonna be pretty happy with it so far. So we have 3 options here: get more money, which we could use; go to a shop, which we probably shouldn't do because we don't have a lot of money; or get some HP and extend the run. And I think we're gonna do that. Gorgons. So if I remember correctly, their shots, if they reach you, first of all, their shots are homing, as you can see. Second of all, I don't think you can destroy their shots. And if they hit you, oh, I stepped on lava there, so I lost a little bit of HP. But second of all, if they hit you, they petrify you and turn you into stone for a few seconds. Oh, I shouldn't step on the lava. Come on over here. By the way, a personal resolution. Maybe I should wait for that, with that for after this level, so I don't lose focus. That was bad. This is bad. I don't think I'm surviving much longer. Oh, it's funny. So one of the Gorgon shots hit the skeleton and froze them, or rather petrified them, which is pretty funny. So one thing that's really nice about the jolted condition is that you can just kind of hit an enemy once, wait for them to attack, and meanwhile you can go do other stuff, and kind of play defensively like that, which is really nice. Alright, I'm gonna live a little bit longer. So, 2 things that I wanted to say. First of all, finally, long overdue. Let's see what Festive Fog does. So damage in an area, as we've seen from the, which I keep forgetting to use. I'll try to remember to use it from now on. So yeah, it deals damage in an area, a burst damage, right? But on top of that, it says for 5 seconds, wafting fumes briefly stun foes in the area every 0.25 seconds. So it kind of like, you know, disables enemies and makes them easier to deal with, which I really should start using. I need to pay attention to that.
Trade.
I don't want to sell anything here, so let's move on. Okay, we're gonna get a boon from Athena. In fact, it's going to be boosted because of the owl pendant, because we haven't received. Oh, actually, it's gonna be boosted anyway. It's not just one time. But on top of that, as you can see, there's the extra difficult room mark here. So the boon that we're gonna get from her is going to be high quality.
That's a problem. gigantic gorgon head.
You reached the flames of Asphodel. Well done. You may have quite a distance still to go, but having crossed through Tartarus is no small step, cousin.
I should add, by the way, last time I played, you know, not only was it on an easier mode, but also I didn't have the added difficulty of trying to speak, you know, for an audience while playing. So I think that's also another reason that I'm probably not doing as well as I expected to do. But let's see what the options. We know Divine Strike, Sure Footing, resist damage from traps, 90%. Could be nice if I had HP to spare with it. And the same thing for Bronze Skin, resist damage from foes' attacks by 7%. I think, assuming I'm going to be able to heal and find HP, you know, and not die right after picking, you know, a boon here, I think I'd just rather have a plus 7%, you know, defense value. So we'll go with that. But as I said, I don't think I'm going to live very long. We'll see. Try to play defensively. So as you can see, the fog kind of like keeps them stun locked like that, which is really nice. Gotta play real slow and defensive. It would be so embarrassing to die to lava. Okay, so he's gonna die when he attacks. Although he didn't cancel his attack, so gotta be careful. The fog makes it hard to see. Oh, no. Yeah, I dodged right into that one. That's okay. So, let's see what we can do, what upgrades we can get. And I think after that we'll finish the video. See who we can talk to.
What happened to Hypnos? Someone's at the desk next to the throne. Who's that sniveling shade to your immediate left there, Father? Already found someone new to do the busy work, and here I thought I was utterly indispensable.
That shade boy is my newly designated contractor. One whose responsibility is to work on this house. Though who shall pay for everything my subjects here demand, I do not know.
You're trying to guilt me into funding the exorbitant furnishings you desire.
Perhaps once we are finished with repairs for all the carnage you have sown throughout my realm, then we might finally have time for all the needed renovations that have piled up.
Nice.
Nice. Alright, let's see what this is.
Some sort of special offer for me, my good shade.
Yeah. Let's see what it says. House contractor. Perpetually must the underworld be maintained, for its population only grows and grows. And at the bottom it says, use resources procured through your escape attempts to renovate the house and underworld. So, if you remember, in the run we got some gems, and now this is where we can spend them. So we get one of the upgrades for free. It says Fountain Chamber in Tartarus. Added chamber restores some HP amid the gloom. Let's get it. Might as well.
Authorized. A fountain chamber in the depths of Tartarus sounds like an excellent idea.
And let's see what other options we have. So we also have additional tabs where we can use gems to decorate the house, which is aesthetic only and doesn't give you any actual upgrades for the run itself. But that's fine. We might deal with those later down the road. For now, I'd like to first unlock all the upgrades that actually affect the game. So let's see what options we have. At the moment, you only have 10 gems, but let's read all the options and decide on priorities. So for 10 gems, plunder, lesser. Underworld renovation, chambers may contain an infernal trove. What is an infernal trove? Treasure chests worth more the faster you slay the foes guarding them. So it's kind of like challenges, optional challenges throughout the run that you can take in order to acquire more resources, which from my experience is actually very useful. And the second one, keepsake collection, regional. Switch keepsakes between all underworld regions. which, as I mentioned earlier, can be strategic depending on what you're going for. But because at the moment we don't have a lot of keepsakes to choose from, I think I'd rather go with this first, because in the long run it'll also allow us to get more resource to unlock all of these faster. But let's read the other two options just in case. Fated List of Minor Prophecies. Special item. Makes the Fates prophecies come to pass and be rewarded. And I personally know what this is, right? Because I've played. To you, this might still be a mystery. I think it's really worth unlocking early on, but I think I'll go with this first. And finally, Urns of Wealth Lesser. Chambers may contain urns with 5 gold in them. So rather than just skip all the vases, sometimes we might see golden ones and then they'll be worth breaking. But yeah, still think this one is the best option to go for at first.
The ever-shifting chambers of the underworld ought to be a little livelier with this.
Open still.
Okay. Let's explore the house a little bit more and then finish the episode. See what people have to say.
Happen to know whom I should thank for the weapons just outside my chambers, Achilles?
I'm sure I wouldn't, lad. Though if I happen to run into them, I'll let them know.
Okay. See what it says here.
What once was a small lounging area within the House of Hades now is sealed off, in utter shambles since the multi-headed Cerberus tore the space apart, mourning the missing prince.
Cerberus destroyed the lounge again. Nyx isn't around.
And here's my favorite character in the game.
The prodigal son returns. Everyone's saying I went easy on you, Zag.
Don't worry, Meg. I eventually managed to get home the painful way after all.
Look, I have a reputation to uphold. You get past me again like that, you best go all the way. Now leave me be and don't think you're gonna be so lucky next we meet out there.
I like how, I think this is the first game I've ever played where one of the bosses that you fight against, right? Usually bosses in games like that are enemies that you kind of like hate, or rather the character hates, right? And then they vanquish them and then they move on and never to be seen again, because usually they just die or run away. Whereas in this game, the boss is actually like a character that you interact with, like that you're in somewhat good standing with, like you can interact, you know, outside of battle, like you have no issues with each other, right? I think that's pretty fun. So let's use darkness to unlock greater reflex. And I see that we have 5 keys, so we can choose either to unlock more talents here, or we can use them.
How's it going?
I'll talk to him in a moment. We can use them to unlock either of these weapons. And I think because we don't have a lot of darkness to spend on more talents anyway, I'd rather just unlock another weapon just for the sake of variety for the next episode. So let's unlock the spear.
Open up. Baratha, the Eternal Spear. Join my pursuit.
That one, huh?
Let's talk to this. Let's talk to him and then end the episode, and we'll see how the spear works in the next one.
Hey, Skelly, you look like you know your way around Tartarus. Found some of this ancient Titan blood out there, and I was looking to score some more.
So the Titan blood is that red thing that we got for defeating the boss.
Ah, you come to the right place regarding that there, pal. It's your mean weapons back there that can find this stuff. Once you get all the way through Tartarus with one, that's all the blood you're gonna get. For the time being, anyhow.
How am I supposed to keep track of which weapons I've earned these with, then?
I don't know, there's always the invention of writing stuff down. You'll figure something out.
Alright. And real quick.
Stygius, Blade of the Underworld. I need your strength.
This ought to be good.
Okay. Another thing I forgot to mention is that the game encourages you at random to play with different weapons, right? So, for example, right now, as you can see, there's like a purple glow around the sword as opposed to all the others. And what that does is, it's called Dark Thirst. Whenever you find darkness, gain plus 20%. So yeah, the game is like encouraging me to play the next run with the sword. I think I'm going to go against that and play with the spear just for the sake of variety for the episode. But I feel like there's another thing I wanted to do. I think it's not going to allow me to spend the Titan blood just yet to make the weapons better. So I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But yeah, I think this is going to be it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have any feedback, leave it in the comments. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.